So you may remember last year I did a video on a custom hardtail made for me by BTR Fabrications. Well, we've returned to the scene of the crime, we've returned to Frome, just have a quick tour around their workshop, stroke factory, and a quick chat about the brand.
I'm Tam from BTR, I'm one half, I'm the T in BTR. I take care of designing stuff, some of the making of stuff, running a website, but I guess designing is my main unique role here. We started BTR in the beginning of 2012, having built our first bike kind of in autumn of 2011. We met when we were at uni through K9 Industries, I don't know if you remember K9, and I worked for them for a couple of years actually, and basically got bored of doing things for someone else and decided to do my own thing, and knew that Paul wanted to start his own company, and I knew that he was a welder and I had some existing skills of machining and stuff like that, so I knew we could actually make something work, and we just basically had a phone call one day where we said, shall we just start our own company then? Yeah, all right.
So it's that easy?
Yeah, just like that, just like that. Surprised everyone isn't doing it really.
Yeah.
Steel is it's a good material for a hardtail, it's a good material full stop, and we can work with it without needing heat treatment processes and stuff like that, so long as we pay attention to the welding process and the filler materials that we use and stuff. So it's good to work with. It's difficult to work with in some ways because you're dealing with such a high strength material and really thin wall thicknesses and such, but it's good for us to work with, and it results in a really nice bike so long as you design to its strengths. Obviously it starts out with the design process. We start out just with an idea of something that we want to do, something we want to achieve, a bike that rides in a certain way. The first thing we do is to look at the geometry and get that dialed, because that's the biggest factor in governing how a bike will ride. And that there's no set rule for how that works. It's just a case of we want this kind of weight distribution, we want to have this bottom bracket height for stability, we want kind of these factors, and then you put it all together and shuffle it around a little bit until it works. I can't just punch numbers into a calculator and output a bike geometry. It doesn't quite work like that. You've got to balance a number of factors in order to create what you're looking for.
Then, so the next stage of the bike, once you know what you're getting, then is all the tubing that you have here. Is it a case of cutting it? Do you outsource any of that work, or?
The only parts that we outsource is some CNC machining, and those are just little parts like dropouts and some small other bits and pieces. Buy the tubing in, cut it, miter it, fit it all in the jig, clean it. We spend a long time cleaning and deburring tubes, which are just, they're things that make a large difference, a huge difference to the welding process. Having a clean tube and a well-shaped tube means that you can get a lot closer to guaranteeing a strong weld. And then you weld it up, prep it, and then it gets sent away to our finishers, and that's the only other part that we don't do here. We can build a hardtail frame in about 20 man-hours, so with the two of us working on it in one long day, we can go from bare tubes to a frame, but then we need to send it away to get painted before we can really ride it. So we could have a frame done in about a week, depending on what lead time, how busy our finishers are and stuff like that. But there's so many other things that we need to take care of between the two of us that it's normally at least 4 weeks for us to build a frame. Most of the custom work that we do is taking an existing model and saying, okay, they want a slightly longer seat tube, or tweak the geometry one way or another on it. We do take on a lot of small geometry changes, and that it's good for us to be able to be flexible like that. And what makes our service stand out, I think, is that we can be, it is a personal service. We do actually send our customers, pictures of the build while we're working on it, and updates with things, and we can customize a lot of small parts of the frame. Just options even like integrated seat clamp or bottle cage mounts and cable routing and such. They're all things that we change for free on a bike.
Okay, so now we've sort of had a quick look at what BTR does. We're going to go out for a quick ride on their new hardtail, the Ranger. Again, it's sort of like all new design. It's actually very different from my bike in lots of different areas, so it's going to be really fun to see how it rides.
Hey.